happy morning children. Welcome to the physical science session, unit 6, light part 1. So after completing this lesson, you will be able to apply the laws of reflection for plane mirrors and spherical mirrors. You will know to draw ray diagrams to find the position and size of the image for spherical mirrors, and you can able to distinguish between real and virtual images. Apply the mirror equation to calculate position, size and nature of images for spherical mirrors. A very happy morning children. Welcome to the physical science session, unit 6, light part 1. So after completing this lesson, you will be able to apply the laws of reflection for plane mirrors and spherical mirrors. You will know to draw ray diagrams to find the position and size of the image for spherical mirrors, and you can able to distinguish between real and virtual images. Apply the mirror equation to calculate position, size and nature of images for spherical mirrors, and you will be able to identify the direction of bending when light passes from one medium to another. You can solve problems using Snell's law, and you will predict whether light will be refracted or undergo total internal reflection. So let me enter into the lesson. So what is light? How do you get light? Light is a form of energy which travels as electromagnetic waves. So the branch of physics that deals with the properties and applications of light is called optics. 2 mark question. What is optics or define optics? The branch of physics that deals with the properties and applications of light is called optics. So in our day-to-day life, we use number of optical instruments. Microscopes are inevitable in science laboratories. Telescopes, binoculars, cameras and projectors are used in educational, scientific and entertainment fields. Right. So in this lesson you will learn about spherical mirrors, that is concave and convex. You have two spherical mirrors, one is concave and other one is convex. And also you will learn about the properties of light, namely reflection and refraction and their applications. So first we will discuss about reflection of light. These are the topics which you have learned in 7th and 8th standard itself. So we will just have a glance over all these topics. So what is reflection of light? Light falling on any polished surface such as a mirror is reflected, right? Whenever light falls on a polished surface, it gets reflected, it bounces back. So this reflection of light on polished surfaces follows certain laws, and you have studied about them in your lower classes. So let us study about them in the elaborate manner here. So first, laws of reflection. So what are the laws of reflection? So consider a plane mirror M and M dash. So consider a plane mirror. So mirror will be shaded at the back. So if you draw a mirror like this, it has to be shaded at the back. Okay, mirrors are always shaded at the back. That's why the rays whenever falls on the mirror gets reflected back. When it falls on the mirror, it gets reflected back. Okay, so you have to shade the mirror at one side, then only it is considered as mirror. Is that clear? So let M and M dash. So see here, M and M dash are the mirror. Consider it as mirror. So let AO be the light ray incident on the plane mirror at O. So see the diagram here. O, you have O here. Okay, so AO, this is the incident ray. This is the incident ray. Okay, which get inside on M and M dash, that is the mirror. The ray AO is called incident ray, and the plane mirror reflects the incident ray along OB. So this OB is the reflected ray. OB is the reflected ray. OB is called reflected ray. AO is incident ray and OB is called reflected ray. It is called reflected ray. So draw a line ON at O perpendicular to M dash. So if you draw a straight line N dash, okay, this is a normal line which connects the line AO and OB on M and M dash. Okay, so this line ON is called normal. This ON is called as normal. This ON is called as normal. So the angle between The incident ray with the normal, that is I, is called angle of incidence. It is called as angle of incidence. And angle between the ray OB, or which is angle NOB with the normal, and this is called angle of reflection. So from the figure you can observe that the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection, that is angle I is equal to angle R. So you have a straight line like this, isn't it? M and M dash, and this is the incident ray and this is the reflected ray, and you drawn a normal here. So the angle between the incident ray to the normal and the angle between the incident ray to the reflected ray, so this is R and this is I. Okay, so this is angle I and this is angle R. So this angle I, incident ray, angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. So this is the first law, angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. And also the incident ray, the reflected ray and the normal at the point of incidence all lie in the same plane. So the incident ray and the reflected ray and the normal lie in the same plane, that is at the point O. So these are called the laws of reflection. Okay, these are called as the laws of reflection. Only two laws, you have only two laws. So what are the laws? 2 mark question. The incident ray, the reflected ray and the normal at the point of incidence all lie in the same plane. And the second point is the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. So next, lateral inversion. What is lateral inversion? So lateral inversion means sidewise inversion. Lateral inversion means nothing but sidewise inversion. So it is the apparent inversion of left and right that occurs in a plane mirror. Okay, so why do plane mirrors reverse left and right but they do not reverse up and down? Well, the answer is surprising. Mirrors do not actually reverse left and right, and they do not reverse up and down also. So what actually is happening? So look at the image below, figure 6.2. you have the lateral inversion image there. So the arrow from the object's head is directed towards the top of the mirror, and the arrow from the feet is directed towards the bottom of the mirror. So the arrow from the left hand goes to the left side of the mirror and the right hand towards the right side of the mirror. So this is the, see, this is the image. So head towards the head and left towards the left and right towards the right and feet towards the feet. So there is no reverse in the left and right side as well as in the up and down movement. So here you can see that there is no switching. It is optical illusion. It is called as optical illusion. So thus the apparent lateral inversion we observe is not caused by the mirror but the result of our perception. It is only our perception, not the mirror is not getting reversed left to right or from up to down. Okay, it is only optical. It is called as optical illusion and it is only our perception. So next, real and virtual image. So what is real and virtual image? If the light rays coming from an object actually meet after reflection, the image formed will be real image and it is always inverted. A real image can be produced on a screen. So real image is always inverted image. Real image is always inverted image and a real image can be produced on a screen. When the light rays coming from an object do not actually meet but appear to meet when produced backwards. So see the diagram. So you can see the rays that touches the mirror and it bounces back and meets at one particular point. Okay, that is real image. That is called as real image. And if you extend the images at the back side, it again meets at one point. Okay, that point is called as O and it is defined as virtual image. It is defined as virtual image. This is the difference between real image and the virtual image. Okay. So next, curved mirrors. So what are curved mirrors? Have you seen curved mirrors? So we studied about laws of reflection, right? You have two laws. That is an incident ray, the reflected ray and the normal lies in the same plane, and angle of I, that is angle of incidence, is equal to angle of reflection. So these laws are applicable to all types of reflecting surfaces including curved surfaces. In your earlier classes you have studied about this. Okay, the most commonly used types of curved mirrors is spherical mirror. The most common used curved mirror is spherical mirror. So what are spherical mirrors? So in curved mirrors, the reflecting surface can be considered to form a part of the surface of a sphere. Part of the surface of a sphere like this. Part of the sphere is a full circle, right? So a part of the circle, half of the circle. Okay. This is called a spherical mirror. So in some spherical mirrors, the reflecting surface is curved inwards. That is, it faces towards the center of the sphere. They are called concave mirrors. They are called concave mirrors. In some other mirrors, the reflecting surface is curved outward. They are called convex mirrors. So now we are going to see the difference between the spherical mirrors, concave mirrors and convex mirrors. So how concave mirrors look like? It is curved inwards. Concave mirror is curved inwards. Okay, concave mirror is curved inwards. It looks like this, concave. It looks like a cave. Okay, whereas convex, the opposite, reverse of that concave. This is convex. This is convex mirror, and this is cave, concave. Okay. So image formed by spherical mirrors. Image formed by the spherical mirrors. So we saw that the parallel rays of sunlight. Could be focused at a point using a concave mirror. So now let us place a light candle and a white screen in front of the concave mirror. Adjust the position of the screen. Move the screen front and back. Note the size of the image and its shape. You can see a small and inverted image. Slowly bring the candle closer to the mirror. What do you observe? So as you bring the object closer to the mirror. So this is nothing but the activity 2 given in page number 68. So when you keep a candle in front of the lens, okay, in front of the concave mirror, and you have a screen over that where you can see the inverted image of the candle. So slowly bring the candle closer to the mirror. What do you observe? As you bring the object closer to the mirror, the image becomes bigger. When the object is very closer, the image becomes bigger. So try to locate the image when you bring the candle very close to the mirror. Are you able to see the image on the screen? Now look inside the mirror. What do you see? An erect, magnified image of the candle is seen. So in some positions of the object, an image is obtained on the screen. However, at some positions of the object, no image is obtained, and it is clear that the behavior of the concave mirror is much more complicated than the plane mirror. However, with the use of geometrical technique, we can simplify and understand the behavior of the image formed by the concave mirror. Okay, so you have many diagrams and the rules. When you come to know the rules, you will easily draw the diagram. So to find the position and nature of the image formed by a spherical mirror, we need to know the following rules. So what is the rule 1? A ray passing through the center of the curvature is reflected back along its own path. See the diagram here, you can see the arrow mark here. So the ray crossing over the center of curvature. So C is the center of curvature. Okay, a ray passing through the center of curvature. You can see the arrow mark like this. It is passing. When it touches the mirror, again bounces back on the same line. Again you can see the arrow mark here. Bounces back on the same line along its own path. Okay, this is rule number 1. So next, rule number 2. A ray parallel to the principal axis passes through or appears to be coming from the principal focus. See, you have a straight line parallel to the center ray, touches the mirror and bounces back, touching the principal focus. Okay, that is called as F here. F is the principal focus, coming from the principal focus in case of convex mirror after reflection. Then rule 3. A ray passing through the focus gets reflected and travels parallel to the principal axis. See, when a ray passing through the principal focus, F touches the mirror and it bounces back parallel to the principal axis, parallel to the principal axis. Okay, so this is rule 3. Then rule 4, a ray incident at the pole of the mirror, that is at the pole, straightly towards the pole of the mirror. The center point of the mirror is called as pole of the mirror, along a path such that the angle of incidence, that is APC, is equal to the angle of reflection. This we already learned. Angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Okay, so these are the 4 rules. So what is the first rule? The ray bounces back on the same plane. Then second rule, will emits parallel. Okay, will emits parallel. When it passes parallel to the principal line, it passes along the principal focus. Then in the third rule, when it passes along the principal focus, it goes away reflected back parallel to the center line. And the fourth rule is angle of incidence is equal to the angle of when it reaches the center of the mirror, that is on the pole. When the ray incides on the pole of the mirror, it gets reflected and the angle will be same. Angle of incidence will be equal to angle of reflection. So these are the 4 rules to draw the ray diagram on concave mirror. Okay, so this is the construction of the image, rules for the construction of images. So firstly we will see the concave mirror and how does the image formed in the concave mirror. So image formation. We shall now find the position, size and nature of the image by drawing the ray diagram for a small linear object placed on the principal axis of a concave mirror at different positions. So see, in case 1, when the object is far away, that is at infinity, the rays of light reaching the concave mirror are parallel to each other. When the object is far away, the rays of the object will be parallel. The position of the image is formed at the principal focus, that is on F. The nature of the image is real, inverted and highly diminished in size, very small in size. See, in case 2, when the object is beyond the center of curvature, position of the image is between principal focus F and the center of curvature C. The nature of the image is real, inverted and smaller than object. The image formed will be smaller than the original object. Then in case 3, when the object is at the center of the curvature, a position of the image is at the center of the curvature itself, and nature of the image will be real, inverted and same size of the object. Then in case 4, when the object is in between the center of the curvature C and the principal focus F, the position of the image will be beyond C, and the nature of the image is real, inverted and magnified. In case 5, when the object is at principal focus F, nature of image will be captured on the screen, nor any virtual image can be seen. And in case 6, when the image is in between the focus F and the pole P, the position is behind the mirror. Position of the image is behind the mirror, and nature of the image is virtual, erect and magnified. Okay. So these are the 6 cases, and we will have the diagrams here. Go through the diagram properly along with the book, read the cases and see the diagram. Practice the diagrams well. Ray diagrams are very important. Okay, so whenever the spherical mirrors, image formation questions and all ask, you have to draw the ray diagrams. So be careful while pointing the position of F, O, P and all, and marking the arrow marks. These are all very important, and when you draw a mirror, it has to be shaded at one side. Okay, the next sign convention for measurement of distances. What is sign convention? We follow a set of sign convention called Cartesian sign. It is called as Cartesian sign convention to measure distance in ray diagram. So in this convention, the pole P, that is center of the mirror, is taken as the origin. Okay, the principal axis is taken as the x-axis and the coordinate system. So the object is always placed on the left side of the mirror. Where do we place the object? Always it has to be placed on the left side of the mirror. Then all distances are measured from the pole of the mirror, that is from center of the mirror to the object, center of the object. Distances measured in the direction of the incident light are taken as positive, and those measured in the opposite direction are taken as negative. The direction of the incident light are taken as positive. Direction of the incident light are taken as positive, and those measured in the opposite direction are taken as negative. Okay, so this is the sign convention. So the image, that is the direction of the incident ray, is taken as positive and the opposite direction is taken as negative. Okay, this is the sign convention. This is how you have to put the sign. Then all distances measured perpendicular to and above the principal axis are considered to be positive. Principal axis, center line. Okay, so to and above are considered to be positive. Then all distances measured perpendicular to and below the principal axis are considered to be negative. So along the principal axis and above the principal axis are considered as positive, and below the principal axis it is considered as negative. Okay, so sign convention diagram is given here. You see the diagram here. So you have the mirror M and M dash and X dash. Height upwards is positive, direction along incident ray is positive, and direction of incident light rightwards, it is going towards like this, towards the mirror. Direction against incident line when it gets reflected back. Okay, so that is why the arrow mark is on the left side. So height downwards is negative, height upward is positive. Is that clear? So towards the mirror means it is positive, that is incident ray, direction of the incident ray is positive, and the opposite direction is negative, and height upwards is positive and height downwards is negative. So this is the sign convention. You have the tabular column below down. So concave mirror, so real U is negative, real and virtual image is positive. Okay, whereas in convex mirror real image is no real image. And here also concave mirror negative sign for F and R, whereas convex mirror positive signs. Height of the objects positive and positive for both the concave and convex mirrors. Height of the image, real image, it is negative and no real image for the convex, and whereas in the virtual image both are positive sign. Okay, so next we will see mirror equation. Now what is mirror equation? Important 2-mark question. Okay, 2-mark question, very important question. Write the mirror equation. The expression relating the distance of the object, that is U, distance of the object U, and the distance of the image V, and the focal length F of the spherical mirror is called the mirror equation. So how do you define mirror equation? Relating the distance of the object distance, and the image distance, and the focal length. Relating all these 3 units of a spherical mirror is called mirror equation, and the equation is given as 1 by F is equal to 1 by U plus 1 by V. So what is the equation, mirror equation? 1 by F is equal to 1 by U plus 1 by V, where F is the focal length and U is the object distance and V is the image distance. Okay, so up to this, the session ends now. So I want you all to revise this mirror equation, sign convention, and rules for the construction of images and the image formation, as well as laws of reflection. Is that clear? So when you are thorough with these 5 topics, we can easily pass on to the next session. If you are not thorough with these topics, you cannot understand the further topics. Is that clear? So when you come to the next session, please be thorough with this laws of reflection, images formed for the construction, rules. Okay, rules for the construction of images, then image formation on the concave mirror, sign convention, and mirror equation. Go through all these topics very well and practice the ray diagrams. Have a good day, children. Thank you.